Stop scrolling. If you're seeing this, it's already too late, because Area 51 doesn't track alien. It tracks you, and the fact that you're still watching, that matters more than you think. You've heard the story. Flying saucer, recovered bodies, reverse-engineered spacecraft hidden beneath the Nevada desert. But what if all of that was noise? What if the alien narrative was the perfect distraction, while something else was being built in the dark? Something quieter, something digital, something that doesn't need to crash land from the sky, because it's already inside your screen, and it just registered your click. There's a classification system most people have never heard of. It's not labeled extraterrestrial. It's not labeled weaponized. It's labeled behavioral observation tiering, and it has 3 categories: passive, observer, active. No UFOs, no little green men, just pattern. Your patterns. Let me ask you something. How many Area 51 videos have you watched this year? How many times have you clicked on something that said classified, leaked, hidden, or they don't want you to know? And how often do you stay until the end? Because that's the metric, not curiosity, completion, retention, non-interruption. The moment you choose not to scroll away, something logs. Most people are passive. They click, they skim, they leave before 40 seconds. They don't trigger escalation. But observers watch. They replay, they search related content, they show behavioral persistence. And active users finish the video. Active users resist distraction. Active users lean closer when something feels forbidden. Active users are flagged. And if you're still here, you're leaning. You think this video was uploaded. It was released. There's a difference. Uploads are random. Releases are targeted. If you're seeing this, it's because your digital footprint intersected with a pattern. Certain keyword, certain watch duration, certain late-night searches you thought were anonymous. They weren't. In 2013, a declassified internal memo referenced something called Protocol Echo Mirror. It wasn't about alien containment. It was about audience profiling. The document described a curiosity retention model capable of mapping psychological thresholds based on viewing endurance. In simple terms, they studied who stayed and why, not to understand alien, to understand you. Here, where it gets uncomfortable, every time you watch a conspiracy video your neurological reward system spikes. Dopamine from mystery, adrenaline from forbidden knowledge. Your pupils dilate slightly. Your breathing changes. If you're on a phone with facial recognition enabled, microexpressions can be analyzed. If you're on a laptop, cursor hesitation patterns can be measured. If you're on a smart TV, pause timing becomes data. And all of that feeds a classification index. Still here? Good, because most people left already. That narrows it down. The classification works like this. Passive consumes content without emotional escalation. No sustained focus. Observer displays repeated engagement, restricted narrative, increased retention, pattern correlation across topics. Active maintains uninterrupted attention through psychologically dense material, searches for cross-references, engages with layered content. Active subjects are tagged for deeper behavioral modeling, not detained, not contacted, modeled, because predictive behavior is more valuable than control. If they can predict what you'll believe next, they don't need to silence you. Have you noticed how certain conspiracy videos disappear? Not all of them, just the ones that attract specific viewing cluster. That's because the content isn't the threat. The audience is. If too many observers shift into active simultaneous, systems adjust. Algorithms reroute. Distractions trend. New scandals emerge. Not to hide the truth, to disperse attention density. Here's the part that changes everything. Area 51 doesn't just monitor physical airspace. It monitors cognitive airspace. Digital corridors, search gravity, collective fixation. When enough minds orbit the same hidden concept, something trigger, not a lockdown, an analysis sweep. And this video, it's part of that sweep. You might be thinking this is just storytelling, atmosphere, mood, but ask yourself this: why are you still watching? Curiosity, defiance, or something else? Because the classification algorithm doesn't care about your reason, only your duration. Mid-video, anomaly detected. Let me explain. If you've watched past this point, your viewer ID just shifted, not publicly, not visibly, but internally, because the threshold for active isn't belief, it's commitment, and commitment is measurable. Right now, the system isn't analyzing what you think. It's analyzing whether you hesitate. Did you reach for the scroll bar? Did you check the time stamp? Did you feel the urge to leave and choose not to? That choice is the flag. Here's the twist. The classification system was never meant to identify believer. It was meant to identify resistor, people who don't disengage when something feels unsettling, people who tolerate ambiguity, people who lean toward the unknown instead of away from it. Why? Because those minds adapt fastest to paradigm shift. If reality changes overnight, passive users panic, observers freeze, active users adjust, and the future belongs to those who adjust. There was a leaked behavioral chart once. 3 columns. Passive, distracted. Observer, curious. Active, recruitable. Recruitable for what? That part was redacted. Look at the clock. Notice how much time you've invested. 8 minutes is a long time to spend on something uncertain. And yet you're still here. You could have left. You didn't. That's not random. That's a decision pattern. And decision patterns are the backbone of predictive governance. You've probably heard that Area 51 is expanding underground, but not in the way you think. The new expansion isn't physical, it's digital. It's cloud-based behavioral modeling tied to defense analytics. It doesn't need to detain you. It just needs to understand you better than you understand yourself. And you're helping by watching. There's one more layer. The system cross-references completion rate with personality marker. Late night viewing correlates with introspection. Headphone usage correlates with immersion. Dark mode preference correlates with tolerance for ambiguity. Do you use dark mode? Most active users do. Just something to think about. You might be wondering why this video exists if it's part of the tracking system. Because awareness doesn't break the model. Participation does. You can know you're being observed and still complete the pattern. In fact, that strengthens the classification. It proves conscious engagement, and that's rare. Somewhere in Nevada, there's a server cluster that doesn't store alien autopsy footage. It stores engagement heat maps. Completion spike. Clusters of user who refuse to disengage from uncomfortable narrative. Clusters like this one. If enough of you reach the end, the pattern solidifies. And once solidified, it doesn't disappear. It evolves. Here's your final microhook. If you leave now, you remain observer. If you stay until the final second, you confirm act. No pressure, just data. Take a breath. Notice your surrounding. The room feels the same, but you don't, because once you're aware of being measured, your behavior changes, unless you choose not to change, which is even more interesting. Area 51 doesn't fear exposure. It fears indifference. And you're not indifferent. You stayed, you listened, you leaned in when it got uncomfortable. That says something, not about aliens, about you. The official narrative will always be flying discs and desert runway, but the real project isn't hidden under sand. It's hidden in plain sight, in retention graph, in watch history cluster, in viewers who don't scroll away. Viewers like you. If you've made it this far, one of two things is true. Either this is just a story, or you just confirmed your classification. And here's the unsettling part. The system doesn't need to contact you. It only needs to know you exist. And now it does. If this video disappears tomorrow, you'll know why. If it doesn't, that might be worse, because it means it was always meant to be seen by a specific subset, by a specific retention tier, by someone who doesn't flinch when told they're being watched. You didn't flinch, you stayed, and that was the test. Before you go, ask yourself one last question. Did you watch because you were curious, or because something in you needed to know if this was real? That difference is everything. If you found this unsettling, good. If you found it fascinating, even better. Because that reaction, that's part of the profile. If you want to understand what happens next, there's another video you should see. But be careful, because every step deeper confirms something, and confirmation, once logged, doesn't get erased. Like, subscribe, watch the next release, or don't. The system already recorded your hesitation. And if you made it to this final line, you were never supposed to see